When we get to heaven, there's going to be a point where he's going to be sent to the brimstone and hell of fire. Him and this Antichrist and death and all of them, they're going to be gone. We ain't going to even think about them no more. It's like they never even existed. Amen?
Amen.
So, and he goes on. He speaks up, he says, for I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand. Right? And he takes hold of your right hand. And when I seen this, I realized that the best picture that I could show you, like a parable I could show you, is Lot. If you know the story about Lot.
Amen.
Lot separated from his uncle Abraham. He was living in Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was like what you call Vegas in New York City nowadays. You know, all the big cities where everybody's just doing what they want. They're gambling, they're drinking, they're partying. Everything you could think of, they just doing bad stuff. And he told Lot it was time to go. His family's time to go. Lot told his sons-in-laws that was supposed to marry his daughters that God's going to destroy this land. We need to leave.
Yes.
And they didn't believe him. And when it was time for him to go, they had to go. But they was moving kind of slow. And they had angels there with them. It was 2 angels. And they was taking too long. And this is where I thought about this, where it says, I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand. He says to you, do not fear, again, 2 times, I will help you. And what did he do to Lot and his family? They grabbed their hands and they pulled him out the city, even his wife. But his wife looked back, she turned assault, they had to keep going. So they wouldn't be burned. And this is what I thought about when God said, I will hold your right hand. Because sometimes God will help us to take care of our enemies, because that's what happened then. There was people trying to attack them, and the angels went out and blinded them and did what they had to do. But sometimes even when God does that and he opens the door for us, we still take our time getting through this door.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
So God is saying, I'm going to grab your hand, because you don't know how important it is for you to get out the situation and to get you away from where you got to be. Amen?
Amen.
And that's why he says, do not fear, I will help you. It's not over yet. I'm going to take care of these, and I'm going to show you the way out, and I'm going to push you out your situation. Amen?
Amen.
And he says, again, do not be afraid, you worm, Jacob. And I was telling them earlier, before you came in, I was telling them that when he's talking about Jacob, he's talking about those that have been called, but they stuck. They like in between the gate. Because Jacob knew he had a calling in his life, because it was spoken to his mother and his father. But Isaac, and what happened was, he still had his devious ways. And I was talking about how he struggled with God, and he became Israel. And this is what he's talking about. You worm, you Jacob. Because even Paul talks about the wretched man, the worm in him, the sinfulness in him. And that's what God is saying. Do not be afraid, because he knows who we are. He knows the sins that is within us. He knows what's wrong with us.
All right.
Yes, he does.
All right.
And he says, little Israel. Why he says little Israel? Because he's telling them, and he's telling us, even the leaders, that we have power.
Yeah.
And don't think little of yourself. So he's joking. He's messing with Jacob. Those that know they've been called, that's still in between that life, but don't want to come fully in the church. And he's talking to the leaders that should be standing up, stronger, and being bigger, but you want to stay little.
All right.
You want to let fear destroy what I put in you. You let fear stop you from receiving all these blessings. And that's why he's telling do not fear. For he says again, for I myself, he says, do not fear 3 times, and he says, 3 times, I myself, I will help you, declares the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So 3 times he explains to the saints and the people of Israel, saints meaning you guys, and the saints back then, he's saying, stop being scared. What are you scared of?
All right.
What are you scared of? From the leaders down to those who are confused about the faith and where God is leading them. He's telling everybody, do not be afraid. I'm going to help you. Be patient. I'm on my way. And when I say this, I had a dream that, when I'm saying this, I had a dream the other day, and I was online, and I was going to receive something. And I seen one of my friends, and they had got all this stuff. It was like a big gift. And they had their packages. And right when I got to the beginning of the line, they said, hold on 1 second. I said, I waited all this time, and I had to wait.
Amen.
And then the person that was handing out the stuff, that's working behind the seat, like behind the podium, whatever, came to me and said, it's not going to be a long wait. It's going to be like 4 minutes. Then I woke up and I said, hold on, okay, 1 day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day. So what is 4 minutes? How long you telling me to wait, God? Is this coming right now? I'm waiting 4 months, I'm waiting 4 hours? coming to help you.
Yes.
That's the word I'm giving you out today. God said he's coming to help you.
Yes.
I don't know how long it's going to take.
Amen.
He told me 4 minutes, but in God's time, I don't know what that is. I don't know what he told you recently, how long you have to wait, but it's coming.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Just be patient. Just be patient. But he's working things out.
Yes.
You can see him destroying enemies. You can see him clearing things up around you.
Amen.
But just be patient. And you think you're taking your time about some things too. Because even myself, I see myself, there's some things I got to be on and I got to do and I haven't been doing them. And I see God starting to give me that push, like, you know, in the butt. You know, let's go. Hurry up. Like he did with Lot. All right, matter of fact, you know what? You don't understand how this important this is.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull you out.
That's right.
So for all of you, I'm sharing this message with you because that's what he's saying today. He's letting you guys know what's going on. And now, wait a second. It even gets better. This is not it. This is not it.
Come on, God.
This is not it. He says in 15, see, I will make you into a threshing sledge, new and sharp.
Yes.
In the version that I had, it said, I will make something new, a threshing sledge. Right? And God said he's making something new. You know God's the creator.
Yes.
So when he created us, I mean, first we was formed in the womb, and he knew who he was.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when we was born again, he
Amen.
created something new.
Amen.
Amen.
Right? He said, all things have passed away. All things became new.
Yes.
He created something new in each one of you, right?
Yes.
And he says, now that I made you new, do you understand who you are? So I'm looking at this.
There you go.
He says, you are my weapon.
Yes. Yes.
Because when he's talking about a sledge here, a threshing sledge, this is something like, we know sledgehammer, right? You ever see what a sledgehammer could do when they work in construction? They hit the wall. They use sledgehammers for bricks too. Bricks down bricks.
Yes.
But now God is saying, I created something spiritually, and I made you a sledgehammer. And he said, not only that, I make you something new, like a sledgehammer, because most of them around are solid. He said, I'm going to put teeth on you.
Yes.
And when you put teeth on something, that means you could grind things away. So what God is saying is that not only are you his vessel, and that you have eternal life, but he's saying you are a weapon.
Amen.
You walking around here as a weapon. You like a loaded gun.
All right.
You don't even know you're loaded. You still have the safety on.
Yes.
You know, and as boys, you know, y'all play the games, right? All the games, you gotta take the safety off.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
And when you take the safety off, that's when you can fire it. So some of us are so scared. I can speak for myself right here.
All right. Go ahead.
So scared to take the safety off
Go ahead now.
because we don't know what we're going to be shooting at. But
All
God
right.
says, take the safety off so I can start shooting.
All right.
You in my hand,
Go
in
ahead.